أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. The first topic of Surah Al-Baqarah is about establishing authenticity of the Qur'an as a divine guide and describing the interaction of three groups of people with it. Here is how it is linked to the previous topic. So, guidance to the upright path was requested from Allah in the previous topic, and its direct response is provided at the primary level of this multi level topic. The root meanings of the keywords that are adopted for the interpretation of this topic are listed in this table. And let's go through the ayat of this topic. Alif Lam Mim ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. Alif Lam Mim. That's the book. These two words deliver two messages. One, that the Quran is a complete guide. It has everything one needs to be on the upright path. And second, that it requires effort or deep engagement or strong reflections to be grasped. There is no doubt in it that it is from Allah and thus a guide for the God fearing. Now, what to do if one doubt its authenticity? وَإِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِّمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَىٰ عَبْدِنَا فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِّثْلِهِ وَادْعُوا شُهَدَاءَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ فإن لم تفعلوا ولن تفعلوا فاتقوا النار التي وقودها الناس والحجارة أعدت للكافرين. If you have been in doubt about what we have sent down on our servant, then come up with a surah from the like of it, and call upon your witnesses from inferior to Allah if you are truthful. Which means sincerely attempting the Quranic challenge by gaining a deeper understanding of its characteristics and message will inevitably lead to recognizing the divine nature of the Quran. But if you didn't do it and you won't do it, meaning you don't have any intentions to sincerely undertake the challenge, then fear the fire. So either sincerely undertake the challenge and realize the divine nature of the Quran, or just directly believe in it. Otherwise, fear the fire, the one which is fueled by the people along with the rocks, prepared for those who persist in completely ignoring Allah's guidance, being openly arrogant. Next, the interaction of God fearing people with the Quran is described. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. That's the book, which has everything one needs to be on the upright path, and it requires effort to be grasped. There is no doubt in it that it is from Allah, and thus a guide for the God-fearing. Those who believe in the unseen, Allah, establish the connection and fully utilize what we have provided them. and those who believe in what has been sent down to you, the Qur'an, and what was sent down before. And they do this because they are certain about the last, meaning the punishment of fire. Those are the ones who are on guidance from their Lord, and those are the ones who are working towards success. These two ayat explicitly provide an advice to those people who are not in God fearing state, but implicitly describe the state of God fearing people. يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم فلا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم تعلمون. O people, those who are not in God fearing state, worship your Lord through prayer and obedience, the one who created you and those who came before you, so you may achieve the state of God fearing. He is the one who made for you the place of settlement, the ground surface, outspread, along with its structured canopy, referring to atmospheric layers, and he sent down water, meaning precipitation, from the canopy, then he caused with it produce to come out for your provision from one of the outcomes of precipitation. So don't make equals to Allah, and you know that none can do all this except Him. Next, it is described that people who persist in completely ignoring the Quran can never benefit from it because they are denied access to the guidance of the Quran. إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. Surely, those who have persisted in completely ignoring the Quran, being openly arrogant, it is the same on them whether you warn them or you don't warn them. They will never believe in the Quran. Allah has put a seal on their abilities to overturn their arrogance, as well as on their hearings, along with coverings on their sides. And there is great punishment waiting for them. These four ayat explicitly describe their state through two striking hypothetical examples. The first example illustrates the meaning of having covered sides and sealed hearings. مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا فلما أضاءت ما حوله ذهب الله بنورهم وتركهم في ظلمات لا يبصرون صم بكم عمي فهم لا يرجعون. Their example is like the one group who kindled fire to find their path. Then, when it illuminated whatever was around it, Allah took away their light and left them in complete darkness, unable to see and find their path. They are deaf, dumb, and blind because whatever they hear, say, or see is useless in this situation, so they cannot return to the right path. The next two ayat illustrate what it means to have sealed abilities to overturn something. أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين يكاد البرق يخطف أبصارهم كلما ضاء لهم مشوا فيه وإذا أظلم عليهم قاموا ولو شاء الله لذهب بسمعهم وأبصارهم إن الله على كل شيء قدير. And or consider a group who is stuck in a rainstorm from the canopy, from the atmospheric layers, with darkness, thunder, and lightning in it. They put their fingertips in their ears upon hearing the thunder, out of fear from being struck by the lightning, anticipating death. Allah surrounds those who persist in completely ignoring His guidance in such a situation. The tricking or deceiving lightning hijacks their sights. Every time it shines for them to find and follow their path, they barely walk in it, fearing to be struck by it. And when there is darkness on them, they stand still. Had Allah willed, He would have taken away their hearings and sights. Surely Allah measures on everything to determine who belongs in this group. Next, the interaction of liars with the Quran is described. ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون. From the people who are not in God-fearing state, there is one group who says, we believe in Allah and the other and last time, meaning the time of credit. And in reality, they are not believers. They mislead Allah and those who have truly believed in their mind, and they mislead none but themselves in reality, and they don't realize it. There was weakness in their overturning of their arrogance, so Allah has increased their weakness, and there is painful punishment waiting for them because they have been liars. The state of this group is described through its representative subset. وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا آمَنَّا وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ قَالُوا إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ الله يستهزئ بهم ويمدهم في طغيانهم يعمهون أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. When they, the representative subset of the group of liars, have been meeting those who have believed, they said, we have also believed. And when they have been alone with their shayateen, those who disobey Allah and encourage others to do the same, they said, "We are certainly with you, as we disobey Allah too. We are certainly the ones who ridicule the believers by causing them to disobey Allah while thinking that they are obeying Him." So we are making a fool out of believers. And they don't realize that Allah ridicules them, which means they only mislead people like themselves, who show weakness in overturning their arrogance. And Allah let them extend in their exceeding the bound, meaning Allah's established boundaries. And they are just being blind about it. Those are the ones who have purchased misguidance with guidance. So their trade is not profitable, and they are not guided to the upright path. And liars commit wrong considering it to be right, so they refuse to mend their ways. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ الْمُفْسِدُونَ وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسُ قالوا أنؤمن كما آمن السفهاء ألا إنهم هم السفهاء ولكن لا يعلمون. When it is said to them, the people of the representative subset of liars, don't stir up mischief in the place of settlement. They say, "We are certainly the ones who do right." Lo, they themselves are certainly the ones who stir up mischief, but they don't realize. And when it is said to them, "Believe like the people who are in God fearing state," they say, "Should we believe like the foolish have believed?" Lo, they themselves are certainly the foolish ones, but they don't know. Next, two concept maps of this topic are presented. One is based on the representative subset of liars, and one is based on the whole group of liars. Let's go through the concept map of the representative subset first. So, the Quran is a complete guide from Allah for the God fearing people. However, it requires effort to be grasped. And if in doubt about its authenticity, undertake the challenge of producing a surah like that of the Quran. And there are three groups of people in this world based on their interaction with it. God fearing people fully utilize the guidance of the Quran as they worship Allah through His glorification and obedience. And people who persist in completely ignoring the Quran by refusing to believe in it, being openly arrogant, are denied access to its guidance. And liars partially utilize the guidance of the Quran as they intend to mislead Allah and true believers, and Allah increase them in their wrongdoing. It has been described that a representative subset of liars altered the message of the Quran as they intended to ridicule believers by making them believe they are obeying Allah while disobeying Him in reality. The reason why did they do it and how did they do it will be explained later in the Quran. However, the fact is that Allah ridiculed them since they only misled people like themselves, who showed weakness in overturning their arrogance. And this representative subset of liars foolishly considered partial adherence to the Quran a smart strategy, allowing them to disobey Allah without being punished. So they refused to mend their ways. If we scale up the message for the whole group of liars, then we get something like this. So the upper part remains the same, However, this message becomes more generalized, that is applicable for the entire group of liars. So, liars partially utilize the guidance of the Quran, which may take many different forms, as they intend to mislead Allah and true believers, and Allah increase them in their wrongdoing. So, these people partially follow the Quran, which again can take varying forms. For example, they don't follow all the given commands, or they follow the altered message of the Quran. Such people are not guided to the upright path, and Allah let them extend in exceeding His bounds. They refuse to mend ways and consider those who fully follow the true message of the Quran as foolish, without knowing that they themselves are the foolish ones. Some forward reference terms from the previous surah are partially or fully specified in this topic. And it has already been discussed in another video that forward reference terms are implicitly specified. So, an alam in Q12 refers to the place of settlement for humans along with its associated outer and inner space. However, the exact number of such alams is expected to be specified later in the Quran. It should be noted that those who doubt the Quran's authenticity should undertake the challenge and dispel their doubts before it gets too late. And regarding another forward reference term, which is a compound term, Yawmiddin, it refers to the other time, which means the present time is the time of deposit, and it also refers to the last time, which means there is no possibility of changing the acquired credit afterwards. And those who claim to believe in the Quran should rush to completely overturn their arrogance by striving to get guidance from it and fully utilizing its message. Also, a wall lane in Q17 has been partially specified in these ayat of this topic, referring to individuals who partially follow the Quran in any form. Just to reiterate, forward reference terms are implicitly specified in the Quran. So one may needs to connect the dots in order to find the meanings of these forward reference terms. Thank you for watching the video. May Allah increase us in knowledge, guide us to the upright path, and bless us with the best in this world as well as in the hereafter. Salamun alaikum.